Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Olga Poltava and my channel is about crochet. I especially enjoy making lacy scarves and that's what I want to share with you today. I made this scarf with soft and shiny yarn by Loops and Threads. This yarn is a category 4 100% acrylic yarn. I used about 2.5 skeins, so that's about 770 yards or about 410 grams. But you can use any yarn of your choice. I worked with a hook size H, 5 millimeters. The finished measurements of my scarf are about 60 inches long, not including fringe, and 13 inches wide. This is not a complicated pattern, there are only 2 repeating rows, but I think the final result is very pretty. The scarf has a soft and silky texture and it drapes very beautifully. The written pattern for this scarf is available in my Etsy and Ravelry shops, and I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who support me by purchasing my patterns. It is because of you that I'm able to pay my bills and to provide for my 2 children and myself. Thank you so much. The starting chain must be a multiple of 10 plus 5, and I start with 75 chains. Here I have 75 chains and I'm ready to start my first row, which is going to be a row of double crochets. Into the 4th chain from the hook, I make a double crochet. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And over here I make a double crochet. And these 3 skip chains will also count as a double crochet. Now I will simply make a double crochet into each chain across. Here is my first row, and in this row I have 73 double crochets. I turn my work and I start the next row with the beginning double crochet. So I pull up the loop a bit higher, I wrap it around the hook, insert the hook, draw up the loop and finish my double crochet. This is a beginning double crochet, but if you are not comfortable making this stitch, you can simply start with 3 chains, which will count as your first double crochet. Next I make a double crochet into the next second double crochet. Now 1 chain, and I skip 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will be working into the next one. And first I'm going to work 3 double crochets finished together. 1, 2, and 3. This is my first 3 double crochet cluster. Next 2 chains. 1, 2, and into the same double crochet I work another cluster, so 3 double crochets finished together. 2 and 3, and I finish them together. Now 2 more chains, and into the same double crochet 1 more cluster. 1, 2, 3. So here I have 3 double crochet clusters worked into the same double crochet, and in between they are separated with 2 chains. Next 1 chain, and I skip 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next one I make a double crochet. So here I have, starting from here, 1 pattern repeat. Now it begins to repeat again, so 1 chain, skip 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next one I work a cluster, 3 double crochets finished together, then 2 chains, into the same double crochet 1 more cluster, or 3 double crochets finished together, 2 chains, and into the same double crochet 1 more cluster, 1 chain, skip 4 double crochets, 1 2 3 4, and into the next one make a double crochet. And now I have 2 pattern repeats, and this is how I'm going to continue crocheting all the way across. Here I am at the end of the row. I have 7 pattern repeats, and I finished this row with a double crochet into the last double crochet. So at the end of the row I have 2 double crochets, and also in the beginning of the row I have 2 double crochets. I turn my work and I start the next row with a beginning double crochet, or with 3 chains. Next I make a double crochet into the next or second double crochet. Now 2 chains. I skip this next chain 1 space, and I will be working into the chain 2 space in between these 2 clusters. And into this space I work a single crochet. Then 3 chains, 1 2 3, and into the next chain 2 space in between 2 clusters. Again I make a single crochet. Now 2 chains, and into the next double crochet I work a double crochet. So that was 1 pattern repeat. And now the pattern begins to repeat from here. 2 chains, 1 2, and into the chain 2 space in between 2 clusters I make a single crochet. Then 3 chains, 1 2 3, and into the next chain 2 space in between 2 clusters again I make a single crochet. Then 2 chains, and into the next double crochet I work a double crochet. And that's how this row goes. And I finish this row with a double crochet into each one of the last 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. I start row 4 with a beginning double crochet, or alternatively with 3 chains. Next I make a double crochet into the next double crochet, and now I will be repeating this second row again. First I make 1 chain, I skip this chain 2 space, and I will be working into the second chain of this chain 3. So into that middle chain I work a cluster, or 3 double crochets finished together, then 2 chains, and into the same chain again I work a cluster, then 2 chains, 1 2, and into the same chain again I make a cluster. Now 1 chain and a double crochet into the next double crochet. So 1 pattern repeat is made, and now the pattern begins to repeat from here. 1 chain, I skip the next chain 2 space, and into the second chain of the next chain 3 I work a cluster, then 2 chains, into the same chain 1 more cluster, two chains, and into the same chain 1 more cluster. Then 1 chain, and into the next double crochet I work a double crochet. And that's how I continue crocheting this row. And at the end of the row again I made a double crochet into each one of the last 2 double crochets. And all I need to do now is to repeat the rows 3 4 for the pattern until my piece measures about 59.5 inches long. And here is my scarf. It looks very pretty, the texture and the pattern. And now let me show you the last row of this scarf. So the row before the last one must be row number 3. We need to have these chain spaces. And now we're gonna make a row of double crochets. So I begin with a double crochet, beginning double crochet as before. And into the next double crochet, I make a double crochet. Here I have chain 2, and into each chain I make a double crochet, 1 and 2. Next I make a double crochet into the next single crochet. Over here I have chain 3, and I will be working into the chain space, and into this chain 3 space I make 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Next I have a single crochet, and I work a double crochet into the single crochet. Over here I have chain 2 or 2 chains, and I make a double crochet into each one of those chains, 1, 2. And now I make a double crochet into the next double crochet. So not counting these first 2 double crochets, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 double crochets per 1 pattern repeat, and this is the same amount of double crochets per 1 pattern repeat that I had in the first row. So now it begins to repeat. Into each one of the next 2 chains I work a double crochet, 1 and 2. Into the next single crochet I work a double crochet. Into the next chain 3 space I work 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Into the next single crochet I work a double crochet, and into each one of the next 2 chains I work a double crochet, 1, 2. And now into the next double crochet I work a double crochet, and that's how I'm going to continue this row. And my last row is going to be a row of double crochets. And here I finished this row with a double crochet into each one of the last 2 double crochets. Now I can fasten off at the fringe and my scarf will be done. So when I'm fastening off, I'm going to cut this yarn tail 7.5 inches long, because that's how long I want to make my fringe. And here I can fasten off this last yarn tail, and I already have one piece of fringe. Now I'm going to cut my yarn into strands 15 inches long, and then I will be folding each strand of yarn in half, and that will give me fringe 7.5 inches long. So now I can just use the first strand to measure. So I'm going to cut a whole bunch of them. So I take one strand at a time, I fold it in half. I use a smaller size hook because it's just more convenient, and I insert the hook into the first stitch. I draw the loop, and then I pass these ends into the loop. And here is my first 2 strands of the fringe. I take the next one, fold it in half, insert the hook into the next stitch, and attach my fringe. And that's how I'm going to continue attaching it, passing the hook into each stitch. And here I attached some more strands of yarn, and the scarf looks very pretty with the fringe, but it's just such a boring and tedious work to do.